quick on that ZX4R Kawasaki, but it is the older of the ZXR 400s of Hayden Smith that leads the way as to go through Riches and on towards Wilson for the first time.
Saying he feels that the older bike's got more power than the new bike in a straight line, but where he's losing out is in the twisty bits. The chassis on the new bikes is so much better.
YPM's underway. It's a good launch from Mark Haig there. Paul Whitby, I think he just didn't quite hook it into second as well as what he would have liked to, but Mark Haig will lead the YPMs in towards Riches for the first time of asking. But it is Hayden Smith from Craig Dance and Luca Wilkinson back to the 400s, and that is your top three as they are hard on the brakes now in towards Agostini's, and through the left they go then.
Hayden's trying to get a break, isn't he? Trying to use the power in his early pace, but I'm afraid Craig Dance is in his slipstream as they make their way up to Hamilton, so he is very much a man on the move. And I think when they get to Oggies, you see the way that newer 400 turns. It does seem to be a little bit better into the turns, doesn't it, Bradley? And probably a little bit better under brakes as well. Craig trying to work the slipstream here. Now this is where, in theory, the older bike will have the advantage down the straight there, but once they start anchoring up into Brundles there, this is where the older machine will struggle a bit with its basically its dynamics are not quite as good, but we can see in a straight line Hayden's definitely got a little bit of an advantage. YPM is now making their way up to Hamilton's as well. Can't quite see who that is in the lead. That's Haig in the league. I think that could be Cooper giving him a hard time in second place. Witters there is in fourth, maybe.
I think that's Paul Whitby up in the third place ahead of Alan Bushell in fourth.
Okay, cool. I was looking at the helmet colour there. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. It's all very hard at this distance, especially my eyesight. Long time since I went to Specsavers, that's for sure. Okay, wait for the leaders to come round Corums, then back into our view. And let's see who's got the jump there. Is that Craig out in front?
He certainly looks like, the riding style gives it away from Craig. It's very much knees and elbows as he goes around Murray's and onto the front straight. But the 19 of Craig Dance leads the way. Now this is where we'll see the power of that ZXR 400. And there he goes. But on the brakes there, Craig just about has it. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really, isn't it? Between the older and the newer bikes.
Well, in a straight line, definitely an advantage for the older bike, but into the corner there, you can see that Dance, I think, was able to brake just that a little bit later, turn in that a little bit harder to do what he needed to do. So Dance from Smith, from Wilkinson, from Sims, Donkersley, Marshall, Crone and Ormrod waiting for the YPMs to come over the line and give us their update. Well, definitely side-by-side stuff for the second place there, as it is Haig from Cooper and Whitby. Those guys separated by 0.014. Ball is back in fourth place, and then it's Bushell, Ridley, Bursko, Lee, Marshall, Stubberfield, Turner. That's Adrian Marshall, I think. Abigail Marshall, sorry. Stubberfield, Turner, Bailey, Pearson, Elleray. Then the other Marshall, no relation whatsoever, Kev, Wareham, and I'm not sure if Patterson and Collins are there, but Mr. Patterson picking up a spot prize yesterday.
Another one as well is that Greg Marshall in the 400 is also no relation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Horror for a Marshall. Used to be an advert for batteries. There you go.
Did it?
Yeah, well, back when I was your age, and in a different country, so probably not very relevant at the moment, is it? Okay.
YPMs, that's Mark Haig from Paul Whitby. He's found his way through, and Alan Cooper, I think he said that was, and David Ball up next in fourth position. So that is your top four as they go through the left of Hamilton's, and now in towards Oggies. But there's no real breakaway in the YPMs. It's a top five then, around about 6 or 7 bike lengths or so back to sixth position. So we'll certainly keep an eye on it as the 400s now make the way around Corums, and there you can really see the advantage of that ZX4R Kawasaki and the twisty bits is give Craig Dance a quite healthy advantage over the 25 of Hayden Smith, who is a former runner-up in this championship. Is that right?
I think he was runner-up, and I think he's also sub-64 champion, if I remember rightly.
So I know his dad won the Formula 400 championship and the sub-64 in the same year, on the same bike, funnily enough.
Right. Yeah, I can tell you what, I can reach for me history records. Here, you grab the history book out of this folder, and I'll get that confirmed for you in just a moment, Bradley, while you watch the YPMs come round at the bottom there, mate.
They are up towards the top end there for the bomb hole round Corums they go, and probably the furthest point away from our commentary box here, but we can see that Mark Haig is no longer leading the way. It's Mark Haig in second position, because I think number 74 of Paul Whitby is leading the way now. Across the line goes Archie Ormrod to round out the 8 runners in the Formula 400s, but it is number 74 Paul Whitby who leads the way ahead of Mark Haig, and then it's Alan Cooper and David Ball in third and fourth. Alan Bushell up next, and I suspect that's Tom Ridley. Yes, it is. Tom Ridley in third position in the Clubman's, because of course Mark Hay currently leads the Clubman's at the moment. So further down the order then, there goes Abby Marshall. She's first of the YPM rookies, definitely in a class of her own in this particular one. Mark Stubblefield, Colvin Turner. Next up will be the 67 of Mark Bailey, looking up the circuit for that bright orange TZR. In fact, it's the 69 who's up next, and that is Mark Elleray. So Bailey and Pearson, they're coming across the line now. So it looks as though they've both lost a couple of positions there, unfortunately. Kev Marshall is now through up into 8th position in class ahead of Pearson, and then Ian Wareham on bike number 100, the Rent-A-Racer bike, is up next.
Well, Paul Whitby obviously got a taste of the gold medals there, and good back marker coming into play. Oh, blimey, he's made a mistake there, though, isn't he?
I think Mark Hay just said, yeah, I'll take that race lead, and that just showed him the higher line as they go through Hamilton's once again. So that has relegated Paul Whitby from the race lead down into 3rd position now, as Alan Bushell looks for a pass on Alan Cooper. I think that is in front.
Right.
Yep. Round Oggies and on towards Williams they go. Then it will be the back straight where that slipstream is so important. But back to the 400s, they're already through the left-hander of Murray's and onto the front straight once again. So here comes the number 19 of Craig Dance on that ZX4R Kawasaki that he's used in British Super Teens a few rounds this year as well. There goes Hayden Smith and Luca Wilkinson.
He's coming on strong there as well. Is he a little bit quicker? Yes, he is. He's 7/10 second quicker than his rival in front of him. So it looks like Smith could get relegated at this rate. Sims and Doggersley next across the line. To answer the question of earlier, mate, you're right. It was Hayden Smith finished second to Nick Smith in 2023. In 2022, I think that's when Hayden might have won the sub-64s. So they've only got the overall championships, but he did finish 3rd overall. I might be standing because I'm pretty sure that's the way it was. But hey ho, no doubt there's somebody listening in there will be able to happily correct us, because people love correcting us, and I don't blame you. We like to get these things
well,
right.
they get plenty of opportunity to do so as well.
yeah, it's not like we don't leave the door wide open with the welcome mat clean for them, do we? Absolutely.
So just looking in the sector number 2, it looks as though the 67 of Mark Bailey hasn't yet gone through into the second sector. We'll keep an eye on an air out for the number 67 of Mark Bailey, but in the meantime, the TZRs are back across the line. Archie Ormrod in the Formula 400s, he's returned back to the pits. He's off the bike, but unfortunately retiring from the race. So across the line, Dance leads Smith by 3 seconds, and then Smith leads Wilkinson by 0.3 of a second. They're now heading right tightly on the circuit down the back straight in towards sector number 2 now. YPM's across the line. Haig leads Ball from Cooper, and Paul Whitby dropped 2 positions on that lap, and they're heading around Agostini's now and on towards Hamilton. So Mark Haig leads the way, and that's probably the biggest gap we've seen all race in the YPMs, and it's only around about 0.6 of a second or so as they go in towards Hamilton's.
Yeah, they are well known for their close racing, the YPMs, and as you say, that is the biggest gap we've seen so far in this race. So Widders needs to find something if he wants to get double gold. Winning 1 race is hard, winning 2 in a row is a little bit harder again, as Whitby's discovering, but nonetheless, it won't take anything away from his first win yesterday, which is absolutely magnificent. So the leaders making their way down the back straights there. It's the leaders in the 400s, of course, sorry, the front straight, I should say, as Dance, Smith and Wilkinson all come across in. Sims, no change there. Doggersley, Marshall, all pretty much as they were. The closest battle there is the one between Doggersley and Marshall there for that 5th place. And another one having a lonely race.
So I'm watching as they come around Palmer's and on towards Agostini's. There goes the number 19 of Craig Dance. And I tell you, these 400s do sound so good.
Very crisp, aren't they?
They really are. I was listening to, obviously down the front straight in towards Riches, Craig Dance dropping down 2 gears, and it just sounds so good. But he's leading the way at the moment, and there goes Hayden Smith in 2nd position. Next up will be Luca Wilkinson in 3rd place. So a bit of time has opened up between them, actually. I think last time around it was 0.3 of a second, but this time around Luca Wilkinson 2.3 seconds away from his rival in front, Hayden Smith.
Mark Haig now releads the YPMs ahead of Alan Cooper. Paul Whitby moves up a places. David Ball loses out in that particular lap, dropping a couple of places, unfortunately for him. It looks like we lost Archie Ormrod somewhere. around the circuit.
He's returned back to the paddock.
He's a paddock man, that's okay. But Mark Haig, the clubman there, very rapid clubman and very inexperienced man, actually. Did some blue haze races on the lovely Aprilia, the Chesterfield Aprilia. It had the right colours, even though it was sponsored by Chesterfield Furniture, but hey, who cares about that? But they very pretty bike, very good on a two-stroke is Mr. Haig. Came over to the YPMs. I think he used the YPM Renter Racer at one round, took a liking to the YPMs. Got his own bike and he's really turning it on. I think they have their own clubman championship, and I think he's probably leading that very comfortably indeed as they make their way down to Oggies. And once again we see similar gap. It's around about 0.6 of a second. Across the line it was about that sort of money as well, mainly because the guys behind him are very busy beating each other up, so they're going to try and get close enough to get the slipstream on the long back straight there just to pick it up. I think they did last time, but no, I think this time Mark's got enough of an advantage that the slipstream doesn't really come into it. Certainly second, third, fourth are a lot closer there as the leaders in the 400s come across the line once again, with Craig Dance now leading by nearly 5 seconds ahead of Hayden Smith. Luca Wilkinson in third, Ollie Sims up next. Then it's the 115 of Jake Donkersley from Greg Marshall, sorry Greg, I do apologise. YPM's coming around Corums once again. This will be to complete their 5th lap in the race. And oh, is that a challenge at the front there? I think Haig might have been challenged. Maybe that's the second, third place battle. Let's have a look and see over the line there.
They are very close together as they come onto the front straight.
Challenge to the lead. It's going to be side by side across the line. It's going to be Witters in second place, but I'll tell you what, Haig's got it cut out because they're going to be side by side into Richie's. They crank over hard.
This is the last lap as well.
The last lap as well, yes. Just look down there, just saw the flag there. So this is where you got to turn it on. That's the hurry-up flag. Whippy came across the line, 0.05 of a second behind Haig there. Cooper in third, losing out one more place. Ball stays with you, so does Bushell. Bursko goes past on Ridley. We're going to concentrate on the leaders here. Certainly don't need to worry too much about Craig Dance. He's all out on his own, doing a fantastic job, looking to pick up another 25 points in his championship battle there. But of course, he's a British runner, so doesn't actually score points. But anyway, let's worry about this lead here, and it's going to be, that's Haig. Actually, he's got the advantage. I think Whippy's having a bit of a battle with Cooper, maybe. They were side by side. And they got to try and stay with the leader. Yeah, that is Whippy in second there. He is passed on Cooper. That's Ball just behind them. Here we go up towards Hamilton's. And Haig again, that's not so much of a gap as it was, is it? What Whippy needs to do is to try desperately to get on the tail, but he can't go too open, because if he doesn't go a little bit defensive, he might get a nip up the inside there. Though hopefully they're going to play the game all together and all get into a position where they can slipstream down the front straight there. I can hear
Craig Dance across the line too.
Yeah, thought I heard the checkered flag. Going to keep an eye on this battle for the YPMs though. And Haig has got the advantage, but it's closing. Whippy's closing. I don't think he's going to be close enough to have a dive down into Brundle's or Brundle Bridge there. And is there a change? Yes, Whippy's hit the front there. I think that looks like the darker of the two bikes out in front, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah, certainly is. That's definitely Mark Haig in seventh position.
Haig looking up at the inside of the bomb hole. I think he's going to go for the suicide squeeze there. That's a tough place to overtake. We'll pick them up as they come out. I know you're listening over there, Australia, Dexter. Hopefully I'll have a beer with you next week, mate. Here we go then, round Corums. And they're looking good for Whippy. Here we go, suicide squeeze surely from Haig down the inside. Is he going to try and get the drive? As Whippy got the drive off the corner. Here he comes. And is it going to be 2 from 2 for Paul Whippy? He's got a real taste of this. Here they come then up to the line and tucked in tight. It is going to be Whippy by a bike length, literally a bike length. He comes across the line. He takes the win by 0.048 of a second. Alan Cooper finishes in third, just 0.6 of a second behind, and then another half second or so back is David Ball. Bushell finishes a little bit further back, but only by 0.4 of a second. That is Bursko, Ridley, Lee, Abbey Marshall, and the rest of them. But Paul Whippy get a taste for the top step there, isn't he, Bradley?